So who's ready to sign a new striker on loan? This guy, and hopefully the majority of you as well. We could do with some help in the striking area. Over the last couple of episodes, you guys have given me a number of options to look at. Unfortunately, due to our continual terrible scouts, I'm not going to be able to get scout reports back by the end of the window, meaning I have had to use FIFA to see what their starting stats are, and just pray that by this point in the save, they've grown a little bit towards their potential. The majority start off in the early 60s and have potential of the mid to late 70s. So by halfway through Season 3, they should have grown to the point where they're very much usable for us in League 1. Now, Brandon Pierik is on the list. He's a right mid by default, but can play at striker as well. We have Adam Ida, who we've previously been interested in. I don't believe they'd let me loan him from AC Milan. They might let me loan him from AC Milan. Now, he has previously spent some time on loan in League 1 in my FM save. I don't know, actually, if he spent any time on loan in League 1 in real life. I know Ennis has. He's a young striker we've got on our shortlist. Adamaida hasn't actually spent any time in a loan spell anywhere, but AC Milan are happy to let him come out on loan to us, and we could start off by signing what would have been my prime target. I did have one other. Well, they're happy to agree a 40-60. I'll show you who else I've got on the list, so that I acknowledge the options that you gave me. Also had Niall Ennis, Elliot Sims, Joel Asoro, Marcus Force, George Hurst, Keziah Sterling, Rashawn Hepburn-Murphy, Jack Harper, who's actually at Getafe in this save, Daniel Butterworth, Jamie Semple, Tyler Walker, who was my go-to, Aaron Connolly, Joseph Gelhart, Callum Lang, Rio Griffiths, Kelvin Yeboah, Ben Brereton, and Dom Telford. Now, Tyler Walker will be my go-to if Adamaida turns me down. He's on loan in real life at Lincoln and has been a great goal scorer in League 1 this year after spending the season before, in real life this is, on loan at a League 2 side and doing well there too. So I think Tyler Walker could be a very good option for us if, of course, Nottingham Forest would let him come to me. Now, we'll start with an FA Cup game against West Brom, which we're going to sim. And as it's a transfer window, we'll be playing 2 and simming the rest of the league games this month. So we'll play Sunderland at home, and we'll probably play Ipswich at the end of the month as well, and sim the 3 in between. So we'll start with this game against West Brom, which we will simulate, and hopefully Ngoy will soon have some respite from a very busy schedule for him. He's been the man that's been having to play almost every single game. In fact, every single game, I think, to make up for the loss of Abadia through long-term injury. That's why we only went for a short-term loan for Adamaida to keep him at the club until the end of the season, when Abadia will be back from injury, out for 7 months with knee ligament damage, 6 of which still remain. I was going to say I'd rather avoid a replay, and literally as I thought that to say it, we went 2-1 down, but Harvey Nibbs has equalised in the 80th minute, and we will have another game to play in the month of January. We may, in fact, if we get through that replay, have another FA Cup game in January, in which case I certainly will split this month into 2. I'm proud of you, Jack. Thank you for playing well, mate. Elliot Griffiths is on his way back after his loan deal, and Ethan Clark is having a loan offer come in from FC Zurich, which we shall, of course, reject. It's a case of finding out when that next replay is going to be scheduled. Kyle Noyle was the one, was that tackling? It was, so we can go back up here to Regens 2. Finding out when that replay has been scheduled, and if we get through it or not, depends on what we do for the rest of the episode. I'm quite happy to have reached the 3rd round of the FA Cup. I don't really have any major aspirations to go much further in the competition, nor to really test. Adamaida is in. He did accept. That's superb, and he will go straight into this team. We'll put Ngoy on the bench, and Adamaida is in. 72 rated striker. We're going to prioritise Nibbs and Adebayo in our first team, but certainly Adamaida, being higher rated, will be fantastic for the rotation 11 and the simmed games. Now, Adebayo is also out injured, but he should be back soon. I know it was a few weeks in the last episode. He's only 2 weeks away, so we will have him back in this episode, which is fantastic news. Now, when's the replay against West Brom? It's been scheduled for in between this game against Sunderland and the next one in the league. Harry Darling is want to be back in action. There are bigger games ahead for George Maris, so he could be back in action off the bench. And in fact, as we mentioned it, Victor Adebayo is supposedly available for selection again, although, as you can see from that stamina, he's not really able to be factored in at this stage. I will put Ida on the bench for Dallas, just so I can try him out if we decide we would like to. But we're going to go and play Sunderland now, and then we'll sim that next game against West Brom. If we get through against West Brom and have another FA Cup tie, then I will probably play Rotherham and Scunthorpe. And, well, actually, it depends if another one is scheduled one of these weekends, then one of these games might be moved. And let's play it by ear, shall we? There's a lot of games going on right now. Let's go and play Sunderland, who are right next to us in the league. We had previously pushed up into the playoffs, but defeat in our final game of yesterday's episode has seen us drop back down to 10th. Such is the nature of the table right now. It's very, very tight. Ipswich are there and thereabouts as well, as you can see. 3 points between us and 15th, and 3 points between us and 6th. Very tight league as ever in the lower leagues in England. Sunderland at home is where we shall start then with the played games, and I hope we can get 3 points. At least a draw. Right, Sunderland's 11. John McLaughlin in goal. Again, Duncan Watmore up top with Chris Maguire, presumably either side of Kyle Lafferty at striker. Luke O'Nien, it's pronounced O'Nien, I'm reliably informed in the comment section, not Nian. O'Nien at right back. It's a 5-2-3 in fact, not a 4-3-3, but still the three attacking players. Well, we might get the chance to try out Adam Ida later in this game. For the time being, we're going to rely on Ngoy and Nibs, and hopefully the two of them will be enough. Conceição with a hat-trick in the last episode, of course. If he can build on that, that'd be great. He didn't really tend to build on that, actually, in the... Oh, it's a lovely ball through. Didn't build on it in the actual episode itself, but hopefully, if we can continue to play balls like that and finish better, we won't have a problem in today's episode. Back to Shields. The gap to Mumba. Oh, it has made it round the corner. Duncan Watmore. He's got Barley Mumba on the edge of the box. That's the ball I'm worried about at the minute. He's just working his way inside the area. He does find Barley Mumba, but not in as much space as he was previously. A delayed pass cost them an opportunity there. Playing the ball about nicely here, though, Sunderland. We could be in for a chance for them. Shields finds Duncan Watmore. Back to Shields. Oof, Norris with the stop, and it needed to be made too. Corner to come in from Chris Maguire on this near side. I don't have too many tall players actually, so we should be able to deal with any aerial balls into the box. Hopefully with as much quality as we've dealt with that one. O'Nien is going to try and keep up with Tavernier here, but Tavernier should have the pace to get away, and I'll lay this in front of Ngoy. He'll get to that and pull it back. Ah, it's a poor pass looking for a teammate. Ah, that could have been a simple tap-in, or at least a clear-cut opportunity for us. But alas, it was not. Shields. Mumba. Been very good creatively for them so far, Barley Mumba. Just that low centre of gravity means he's quite agile and he's just twisting and turning away from anybody that comes near him to try and tackle him. That doesn't actually have too many options there, as the players that were further forward were being marked or had a man between Conceição and them. Oh, it's trying to get up round the corner with Brown. Somehow it's fallen to Ngoy here, who's turned around well. We'll get it across there to Conceição again. Quickly round the corner looking for the runner, Dominic Brown, but that's not worked. Both sides just feeling each other out in this first half. A couple of good opportunities, but neither side really showing proper intent of actually cutting the other defence apart. Get this back now to the edge of the box here to Brown. Get it across there to Tavernier. But straight down the keeper's throat. It's going to be 0-0 at half-time. Neither side really look like winning this. But again, oh, quickly forward there to Lafferty. He's not had much to do in this game so far, Kyle Lafferty. He's barely even touched the ball. A lot of their play coming through Barley Mumba and then being worked out wide. They haven't yet found that through ball or cross to Lafferty that would have him involved. Brown would get that to Conceição. We're going to have to contemplate making a couple of changes soon. They're talking about Conceição at the moment, and he is probably going to be the man to make way. Agoy tried to turn Flanagan but couldn't do it. I've got Campos on the right, who actually I'm going to take off. I'll move Ngoy to the wing. Tavernier back to the right-hand side. And then we will bring on Adam Ida off the bench and see if we can get something out of him. And George Maris wanted to play in this one, so we'll bring him on at cam as well. Adam Ida, soon to make his Cambridge United debut off the bench. Chelsea have just signed Nicolas Sula. I expect it to be quite a busy window, actually, transfer-wise, for the big teams in this January window. We'll wait and see if that is the case, but there's been talk in previous games of rumoured transfers. Whether they're actually going to go through or not remains to be seen. That was a terrible pass from Conceição. Half an hour to play. Still looking like a 0-0 draw here, but hopefully our substitutions can help change that. Lafferty, nice little back heel to Shields. Very well intercepted by Alex Conceição, who's only to ignore my instructions of stay forward at all times to get back and be involved defensively. Campos on the overlap is Kyle Noyle, and he does have some decent pace. Campos is arriving through the gap there to Nibs, and there is Conceição. That was the clear-cut chance we've been waiting for, and he scooped it well over the top of the bar. Useless, Alex. How can you be so good in front of goal yesterday and so terrible now? 09. Oh, I thought he was just going to pass that. And Goy trying to outmuscle him and has done well. It's our throw too. They're making another change. Maguire going off and Rosada coming on. Brown will get this forward here. Nibs, Maris. Here's Adam Ida's first touch as a Cambridge United player for me. Doing well. And Maris helps that round the corner, but not necessarily a good enough pass there. Oh, but he could be on himself free in the box. And Maris, off the bench, gives us the lead, finishing in the manner that Conceição should have done when he had a chance from similar range. And to be fair, Conceição was in more space as well, but George Maris might well have just won us this game. That could be 3 points to potentially send us back into the playoff spaces. Well tucked away into the roof of the net. No chance for the keeper. And with just 14 minutes to go, we have a breakthrough. Cano will knock that down. And Page will pick it up. We'll look inside to Maris. I don't know whether to push for a second or be happy with what we've got and just try and sit on it. Nibs is in the box here, looking dangerous, but there's no point rushing it and losing possession. Maris is there, though, and Ida is here and onside with an awful left-footed shot. Off balance, to be fair, falling away from it, but we have managed to waste enough time there, and their goalkeeper is wasting even more for us as his defender won't give him the space to do anything. That was odd. I'll take it. Cambridge 1, Sunderland 0. Oh, I paused it rather than pressing the right button. There we go. Everybody wearing a hat today. Apparently it's National Beanie and Baseball Cap Day at Cambridge United. Well, Sunderland, they just weren't good enough there, were they? That was awful from them. They had a lot of the ball, didn't do anything with it. Accrington and Salford playing out a relatively local derby, I guess. How come we didn't see Darling today? It isn't easy, but he'll be back soon. Never be too careful, I guess, when he's coming back from injury. Although we have other centre-backs. Now Harry Darling's really not finding his place in the even rotation squad really that easy to come by right now. We trusted that we'd give it our all, and we did have to give it our all to get the better of Sunderland there. Now, again, there have been calls in the comments that people are accusing me of cheating. I am not cheating. This is the last time I will address it in a video. Settings, I'm on Legendary, and my sliders are, as you can see them on screen, shot error is 40, pass error 15, 60 for goalkeeper ability, 60 for run frequency, and 35 for first touch control error. I'm on Legendary. I don't edit things with the live editor other than what I've shown you that I've done. Please stop complaining in the comment section that I'm cheating in this save. I am not. I don't do that on my channel. I wouldn't risk the integrity of all of my saves by doing so. It's the last time I'll address it. Piss off. Right, moving forward. Let's go and sim West Bromwich Albion, shall we? And try and get ourselves through to the next round of the FA Cup. If we do get through to the next round of the FA Cup, then we won't finish the month of January today. But we'll have to wait and see what happens in this next game. If we do go out, then we will continue with the plan of finishing the month today. That's how the lineup is going to look there. And actually, I can change this starting lineup now, and I can put Tavernier back on the left, and I can put Adebayo back in at striker, because by the time that he's in a position to play, he will be back fit, or at least in the next game. So I can sim with this game with Adamida and Andy Dallas up top, and we don't need to worry too much about other injuries at this stage outside of Abadia. That's it. And O'Hare has given us a 1-0 lead after 4 minutes away from home at the Hawthorns. Never mind, Al Dorsari has given West Brom an equaliser. Adam Ida with a penalty. That's what we haven't seen from Ngoy recently, isn't it? Ngoy been missing penalties left, right and centre. Adam Ida comes in, scores his first goal for Cambridge on his loan spell from AC Milan. And we are through to the next round of the FA Cup. Now, depending on what happens with the fixture list, we'll wait and see what we're going to do for the rest of the month. The next round of the FA Cup will be drawn soon. It will be on one of these Saturdays, so there will be a league game moved. If there's still 4 games left for the rest of the month, we will play one of them and sim the other 3. If there are 5 games scheduled for the rest of the month, then we will play one and then save more for another day. A loan offer for Andy Dallas, which will be rejected. Match rescheduled, £156,000 for moving on to the next round of the FA Cup. Let's see. 4 games left. They moved the Mansfield one. So Millwall in the FA Cup, the round of 32. That will be the next game we have in the competition in the Cup. But we'll sim Rotherham, we'll sim Scunthorpe, we'll sim Millwall, and we will still play Ipswich and then end the month of January there. So actually what I do want to do is take Davies off the bench here and put Campos onto the bench there, our scout future star that we want to hopefully see excel next season in the starting lineup. But this season he's going to have to deal with the rotation swap. Obviously when we lose Tavernier's loan and he goes back to Chelsea, then fingers crossed Campos is in a position to take over in the starting lineup and have a positive impact. Adebayo back from a long-term injury and on the score sheet 7 minutes into his return. That's what you want from your number 1 goal scorer, Adam Ida, off the bench to replace Adebayo. Can he pick up another goal? The answer so far is no. And Ngoy scores a penalty. Just as I mentioned him missing them earlier on, a 2-0 win against Rotherham, and that does put us back in the playoffs. Scunthorpe then coming up next in another simulated game that hopefully will see us continue to push up the league. I believe the automatic promotion spots are out of our reach, and I don't think we can really be in contention for those. Let's have a look. We're on 46 points. Bolton in third are on 50. That's a 5-point gap. Yeah, Barnsley and Luton are running away with things. The playoffs are still very tight though. We could easily, in the space of 1 match weekend, go down to 10th. Not 11th, despite the points difference, because our goal difference is much better than Fleetwood's. So Scunthorpe then next with this side. Ida, unfortunately, not fully fit for this. I'll put Campos in that starting lineup actually, and Adam Ida will hopefully still be able to do the business once we get back to the point of having a game once a week and the midweek games are done and dusted, or this busy fixture spell is done and dusted. We won't really need to worry about stamina for the rest of the season. Clark gives us a 1-0 lead. Well done, Ethan. Is that going to see us consolidate in the playoff spots? We're into the second half. Nibs on for Ida. Half an hour to play and Goy on for Maris. Nibs adds the second. We're going to win away from home at Glanfield. Is it Glanfield Park? Glanfield Road? Oh God, Scunthorpe, what's your ground called? Scunthorpe FC. Glanford Park. I knew it was something like that. A 2-0 win. We are consolidating in the playoff spots. Unexpected when we first started this season, but delighted to be in the position we are right now. So moving forward to the FA Cup game against Millwall in the round of 32. We have another upset, a loan offer for Tom Knowles that I will actually accept. Hopefully we can get him out of the club for a little while. Make sure I've got the right squad starting. Yes, Sim in the FA Cup. Ooh. Arsenal versus Manchester United elsewhere in the competition. at the round of 32 stage. Moss gives them a 1-0 lead. Their centre-back giving them the advantage. Nibs, though, equalises. Bernadeschi gives Arsenal a 1-0 lead in that tie. Jadon Sancho also playing for Arsenal, of course. We've come from 1-0 down to be 2-1 up, but never mind, they've equalised through Maguire. But Ngoy gives us a third, and we might yet be going on further in the FA Cup. We are going on further in the FA Cup. One hell of a cup run for us this season. Understandably, we're concentrating on the league at this stage, but lack of playing opportunities harming my career. Learn from the experience. It's so annoying that the AI are scripted to, if they have the crucial... Oh, I've mentioned this before. If they have the crucial squad role, they have to play 80 minutes of every single game to maintain their morale. It's just so unrealistic. But there's literally nothing I can do about it. Don Brown, I'm going to have to make sure I manage his morale as best I can. Otherwise, we will run the risk of his morale becoming so low that it either affects the rest of the squad or he tries to force his way out of the club, which hopefully isn't a scenario we find ourselves in, but it may well provide the opportunity for something like that to happen. A Viejo offer rejected. Ipswich up next as we will end the January transfer window. Tom Knowles is loaned out. We could go, in fact, if we win this game, it is a game in hand. The last time we had a game in hand, we played against Ipswich, they battered me. And last time we played Ipswich anyway, they battered me as well. And they could go above me if they beat me. No, they can't. They go to 48. Never mind, ignore that. But if we win, we could go as high as 4th to 52 points. But we haven't yet beaten Ipswich in this save. Scout report's coming back for players now, which is far too late. Next season, maybe not next season, but the season after, certainly in the not too distant future, I would like to spend some of my budget. As we concentrate on the players that we've got, I would like to maybe spend a season spending my money on improving our scouting options so that we don't have to wait more than a month to get a scout report back. But that's going to be difficult with the situation we find ourselves in right now. I don't need to worry about contracts, I don't think, at this stage of the save. I believe everybody has at least a year left. These are all loanees. And yes, everybody else has at least a year left. So we don't need to worry about that right now. So I could, if I see how much scouts actually cost, maybe consider hiring someone better. But 2.1 million is not enough. Or I don't have, enough for a 2.1 million for even a 3-star, 3-star. But knowing that there are 5-star, 3-star or 3-star, 4-star for 2.5 to 3 million means that we won't have to raise too much more to improve what we've got here. It's going to be difficult to try and improve our scouting range or scouting ability, but I think that's the next step. We have the squad now and the youngsters to be able to deal with any games or any issues we have with suspension or injury, etc. And we can rely on short-term loans if we need to. So hopefully we can spend some money elsewhere, invest in the club rather than the squad, and I hope to improve yet further all round as a club. Will certainly help the club worth too, but let's head into the second and final play game of the day. It's been a great month of January so far, getting in a striker that's hit the ground running, getting wins in the league and the FA Cup, but now we face one of the most difficult tests we've had so far. A side that we've played twice and lost to convincingly twice, away from home. Ipswich's starting lineup, Norwood and Caden Jackson up top for them again. Still the 6'9" Thomas Holy in goal for them. They've had a similar season to us, Ipswich, after they bossed the league last year. They're challenging for promotion this year. After we didn't necessarily boss last year, but got ourselves promoted, we've come into League One with the squad that we had after improving it as well, actually, and are challenging in the same area that Ipswich are. So certainly it is capable for League Two sides to bounce up to League One and be competitive at this next level. We're probably a way away from competing at the top end, or not necessarily top end, but the tip of the league, as you've seen the gap to the top two. And that leads me to believe that if we get promoted to the Championship this season, we really will have a tough year next year. I did expect League One to be more of a test so far this season, and we did start off mid-table, but it does only take still one good or bad episode to really sway the outlook of an entire season. Oh, Ipswich knocking on the door hard, but it was a terrible pass. I meant to play that to the striker. We're standing firm so far, but this game in the opening 12 minutes feels exactly like the other two games against Ipswich. Defending for my life and struggling to do anything going the other way. Here's Noyle through the gap there to Nibs. And if I could have held on to position and played it round the corner, we could have played a teammate in down the line. Tavernier was looking to make that run. Bolton inside to Brightes. Here's Jackson. Dozel. Yet to really get in their half, to be fair. Dozel to Downs again. Ipswich are just so good. I don't know what it is about them, but if this is if they're the sort of calibre of opposition we expect to play in every game in the Championship, then unless the team makes significant improvements over the next 6 to 18 months in game, I really don't think we're going to stand any chance of getting to the Premier League anytime soon. Maris twisting away well, giving the ball away loosely, and after half an hour, again, for the third time, I can do dick all against Ipswich, and they're battering me. Just on this occasion so far, thankfully. They haven't yet scored a goal, so I'm still able to stand the chance of maybe getting a point. Well, that may change here if Dozel can find a teammate in the middle, which he has done, but thankfully we smuggled it round the post. Going to take this corner short. Downs will knock it there to Nydam, and delivered well, but Adebayo will flick away. Nydam down the line to Caden Jackson. Back to Nydam again. That was well swept inside to Andre Dozel. They've got a lot of blue shirts pushed forward again here. Jackson's pace does worry me. He's going to get that back nicely to Nydam. And here's Dozel. Out to Jackson again. Dozel. Good possession from Ipswich. Decent ball in too. Cano's clearance isn't that good, but Norris just gets his angles right to push that past the post, not into his own side netting. Lovely first time volley. So cleanly hit. Nydam again. This is familiar, isn't it? Back heeling, trying to defend against an Ipswich attack. I feel like I've done nothing else in this 50 minutes played so far. Thankfully, the header there from Norwood, I think it was, goes wide. I tell you what, it might be nice. It might be nice to actually get in their half and have a chance on goal. I don't know as I have so far. Match facts. Nope. Something about Ipswich. I just cannot do it against them. They've been they've been insane. In every game I've played against them in this save so far. One of the rarities where a side that is better on paper really does dominate on grass every single time you play them. This is what it should be like throughout the entirety of the career mode universe on FIFA when you play a team that are significantly better than you. But unfortunately, it's just not the case. Oh, Cano. That's wide. No, he did touch it. An hour played. We've held on so far. Can we keep it up for the full 90 minutes? When Downs brings that down. He's offside there, Nydam, wasn't he? No. Play continues, and Norris holds on to that really nicely indeed. Let's see, bowl it out to Ngoy, and we'll try and go on a counter-attack if we can. Just couldn't get it under control, though, and a perfect tackle. Oh, God, talk about being under pressure. I couldn't even get that pass off Norwood. Oh, now I'm worried about the return ball, though. Nice block. Away, away. Oh, God. Stop it, Ipswich. Give me a... Oh, come on. Give me a break. Just for 5 seconds, let me take a breather in this game and not constantly have to be on high alert and at 150% concentration levels to stop you scoring a bloody goal. Oh, this is what happens in games in real life where you find the opposition just wearing a side down mentally as well as physically. You have to be at your wit's end for the entirety of a game. And sometimes they're just waiting for a mistake from a tired mind, unfortunately, that tired mind is mine. And rather than having 10 other teammates to have alert minds, if one tired mind takes over, this one tired mind is in control of all of the other minds. So I might find myself falling apart. Or somehow we might find ourselves having a chance on goal that might be the only chance we need to get a goal to win this game 1-0. It should be pretty remarkable if we do. I still can't find a way through their back line. Oh, Jesus. I feel like I've had to constantly commentate throughout the majority of this game because it's just been constant Ipswich pressure and there's always been a goal threat. It'll be AJ around the corner to Ngoy. Oh, can't shrug off Bolton. And our goal threat has been non-existent for 79 minutes and 50 seconds so far. Oh, given straight to Ngoy. Is that the mistake that we were waiting for in the game? But it's actually come from Ipswich, not from Cambridge. Tavernier turns back onto his favoured left. Will look to deliver a ball. It's decent. Ngoy can't win the header though, and Bolton will clear. I thought Dazelle was going to give that away there, and we might have seen another mistake from Ipswich at the back. They've not had anything to do defensively, so the defenders have had the opportunity to kind of relax and let the mind wander. Trying to make the most of that opportunity, but unfortunately, I still couldn't do it. I think we're going to go the entirety of this game without a meaningful attempt on goal in a Cambridge United shirt. Hopefully, we can hold out for a draw, and it would be, by far and away, the best result we've had against Ipswich, even though in previous games against them, we have actually had shots on goal. Tavernier, short there to Brown. It was Maris. Into Tavernier again. Kyle Noyle pushing forward from right back. Now's the moment in stoppage time. Kyle Noyle from right back. Shit. A 0-0 draw against Ipswich. And to be fair, if you'd have offered me a point before the game, I'd have taken it. If you'd have offered me a point in the 88th minute, I'd have taken it. After 92 minutes, just 4 minutes later, I'm disappointed not to have won it by a goal to nil. Oh. That was nice to actually finally be able to wind down and just not have to be like, oh my God, full intensity. Will improve our offence, and our offence will be much better in future games. Two very strong defences is what I'll say. Theirs had nothing to do. Ours stood firm, despite having everything to do. Draw has seen us drop out of the playoffs for the time being, but we do have a game in hand still. So there is the opportunity to progress further up the table in the month of February. Alternatively, of course, there's the opportunity to progress further down the table in February too. The month looks as follows. Next FA Cup game hasn't been drawn yet, but not massively busy now for the rest of the season as things stand. Howdy, Nathan. As things stand, we should be able to just deal with the fixture list and not worry too much about players getting injured because they're tired or players just being tired in general. So, the end of the transfer window, Marquinhos has gone to Juventus for £75.8 million. Milinkovic-Savic has gone to Liverpool, and Ismail Assar has gone to Manchester United in this window. Not sure if we'll get any massive deals on deadline day, but oh, we will! Marcus Rashford from Paris Saint-Germain to Barcelona. Already out of Old Trafford earlier on in the save, now away from the Parc des Princes as well to the Camp Nou. Marcus Rashford is on the move again. £81.9 million on this occasion. I can't recall what his fee was when he went from United to PSG. I'm sure someone in the comment section will remember. Marcus Rashford fanboy, perhaps. Someone that's just got a better memory than me. That took a big jump. What was that? Not sure. It was lower than 54 million if it was a one-off deal. If not, perhaps a couple of mid-level deals. We've had some interest again for one of our players. The transfer offer Harvey News is 7.5 million, which we will reject. Moving further forward, there has been some call from the comment section to maybe if we get transfer offers from teams that are in, you know, much bigger divisions than us or much higher divisions than us, that I should accept them because that would be the realistic thing to do. And whilst I do tend to agree, we have had some higher bids come in, but not really from sides that you'd say that the player would definitely jump ship from. Dominic Brown is very valuable right now. There's no one here that you'd say, yes, that player would definitely make that move. Well, that £7.5 million bid for Harvey Nibbs came from Rochdale. You're not necessarily definitely going to jump ship to Rochdale, especially when you're having a good season in League One. I think Rochdale might have gone up to the Championship in this save. I'm not sure, but still, it's not like a massively obvious no-brainer. Yes, they take this move. Obviously, as a Cambridge United fan, I want to try and keep Cambridge United players at the club, like as in original Cambridge United players at the club. But say we get a bid from Leeds or a Premier League side whilst we're in League One, or a Premier League side, like top half Premier League side whilst we're in the Championship. If you think that I should accept bids like that, regardless of who it's for, so say for example we get a bid for Cano, our Scout Future Star, or Campos, or Dominic Brown from a big team, should I accept that and then maybe later on in the save sign them back? We have done that previously in an RTG. We did it with Kwesi Appiah. So that is a potential. Whilst we're in the lower leagues, sell a player realistically to our much bigger top side in a realistic fashion to then maybe sign them back when we're at that level and they might want to come back to us. That's perhaps something we could do if you guys would be interested in seeing a more realistic version of what we're currently doing, which is just trying to keep original Cambridge players at Cambridge. That's something I'm open to, but I would probably want to bring those players back more than likely. But let me know your feedback on that side of things, and I'm more than open to taking it on board and acting upon it in that manner if you think that you would like to see that. We've had a managed job from RZ Alkmaar in the Netherlands, which we shall reject. Bradley Murphy is still my only youth players. We're not looking to sign any more youngsters. We have plenty of players at the club right now. 7 days, thankfully, for Nathan Collins. And transfer deadline day has gone. And Al Hilal have offered for Lewis Page. Again, I feel like Al Hilal is a definite, I'm going to go there. That's an obvious move for Lewis Page. So we shall reject that one. And I'll quickly show you what the biggest transfer deals in this save have been so far then, including those from the summer window. Barcelona have been very busy, but they've been mainly making money. But they spent some of it in January now, signing Marcus Rashford. Marquinhos we saw as well. Niklas Süle to Chelsea went through in September, so that would have been finalised as of January the 1st. So Süle is now at Chelsea. That's August, isn't it? So Milinkovic-Savic, Paul Pogba to Real Madrid. That was one of the big ones that didn't quite meet the top three. Paul Pogba from Juventus, after going back there from Manchester United to Real Madrid for 54 million. They've also got Houssem Aouar that they signed in the summer. Joe Gomez to Paris Saint-Germain. Romelu Lukaku to Leipzig. Anything else in this window? Ismail Assar we saw. Caqueret to Spurs. Toby Alderweireld has left Valencia and gone to Atletico Madrid. That was done in September and went through on January the 1st. Gareth Bale to Chelsea. It's a signing I've made myself in Chelsea career modes gone by. Kramaric has gone to Valencia. Another one done outside of the window. Similarly, Diallo to Dortmund. Rakitic to Juventus from Liverpool was done in October and will have gone through in January. Melendo has gone from United to Valencia. Anything else that was done outside the window? Kurt Zouma to Dortmund, done in the January window. Canales to Leipzig was done in September. Orta to Napoli. Anything else? Maximovic, these are just some smaller transfers. Now, James Ward-Prowse has gone to Leverkusen. That was done just prior to the window in December, just before Christmas there. Thomas Muller, a player that I never thought I'd see leave Bayern Munich. He's gone to Bayer Leverkusen. And that pretty much sums up the window. So that's where we are right now as we head into February. But we did have a match rescheduled, I'm sure. Didn't we? No. Okay, so the next round of the FA Cup hasn't yet been drawn. Fair enough. Well, as things stand then, we've 5 games in February. But it might be 6 if the FA Cup, or when the FA Cup is drawn. But for now, we sit a point outside the playoffs, and our next game is Doncaster in 6th. Big one. In fact, every team above us has played 32, and almost every team below us has played 31. Cheltenham are really struggles. So that's where we'll end today's episode. Thank you very much for watching, boys. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed, of course, as ever. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know your feedback about that whole big bid scenario, and we'll take it from there. But that's all from now. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.